Hotel 112 hat call signs.
They're Britain's toughest medics.
RTC lead.
I don't look good. Go, go, go.
They are evacuating the cinema. There is asbestos involved.
There's lots of hazards, lots of dangers. It's a constant dynamic risk assessment.
The NHS's Hazardous Area Response Teams, HART for short, are trained to tackle the most critical cases in the most dangerous places.
Right, boss, you're going to start going up now. Just keep your eyes closed.
In the firing line.
Shotgun injuries to his leg.
Go on, you have to blast me.
First in.
This is going to be news, headline news as well.
Last out.
This is moving, this.
Oh no. Let's come out of there.
It could have gone very wrong, very quickly.
With strength.
Ready, brace, lift.
Compassion.
It's the ambulance service. It's okay. Take my hand.
And specialist skills.
Could be someone in water, at height, underground, overcome by gas. Whatever it is, our team are there.
Created after the 7/7 bombings, they're in the front line when terrorists strike.
That's what we train for, that's what we study for, that's what motivates us, knowing that at those critical times we can make all the difference.
Specially selected.
We're currently dealing with a lot of casualties over quite a large area.
Seen through cameras, sharing their danger, their triumphs, and their tragedies.
We're full to 36 now, Doctor.
This is going to be a major incident.
It's late winter, and at Heart HQ, the teams are gripped by reports of a silent killer.
Now, an emergency evacuation flight carrying 83 British citizens is expected to land at the Brize Norton RAF base in Oxfordshire later on today.
The news they are watching is stark. COVID-19 is about to hit the UK.
You're essentially bringing in more than 80 people from the epicentre of this global health emergency.
At the moment it's business as usual, but if necessary, due to the nature of the virus and its classification, Heart may be called upon to transport these patients between receiving facilities.
The team are on high alert.
Just in case you have a suit failure for whatever reason, you have some spare PPE with you.
Manny is preparing his troops.
Making sure that our kit is suitable and making sure our vehicles are prepped and ready to go at a moment's notice. That's your map, that's your script, that's your kit. Whether we go to a patient that might have come from a certain country, they have the travel history, they have the fever, they have the signs and symptoms. We can put the signs and symptoms with their travel history, or we can roughly pinpoint what potential illnesses that they might have brought from overseas.
On the front line of COVID-19, military precision is the order of the day.
Attendant 1, step onto the sheet and if required, remove any gross contamination using wipes in the following order.
The consequence of not following this procedure would be an avoidable spread of a disease, so in this case coronavirus, but it's equally as applicable to anything else such as Ebola or other viral hemorrhagic fevers. I think it's something that sort of everyone takes seriously anyway. The risk's always there that these sorts of incidents will happen, but it's not a case of if these jobs come through, it's going to be when these jobs come through now.
It should now be pulled forwards and away from the head and then dropped into the clinical waste bin.
Lives depend on discipline.
It's really vital that we do this training. There's going to be more cases, so we need to be on top of our game.
60 miles away on the Humber estuary, the team's skills are about to be tested for real. Every year, 9 million tonnes of freight passes through the port of Hull. And every morning, 2 super ferries arrive from Europe.
Hotel 1, Chop and Roll, hat call sign.
Bravo team are being scrambled to the docks. Pete is following team leader Andy in the convoy.
999 rope activated.
James and Steve are bringing up the rear.
What the job is? In the container, 11 people found. Yeah. I'll tell them.
Just had a radio call through to say the phone call is currently coming through from the people within the container fleet. They're going to be looking for them. They've probably come from Belgium and things have been in there approximately 5 days.
Yeah, Roger received.
With COVID-19 sweeping through Italy, a major route into Europe for asylum seekers, public health officials are very concerned.
So the most likely reason they're in this container is that immigrants or asylum seekers made their way into the country from some unknown kind of origin.
More information is coming in to Andy. A senior ambulance officer has also been sent to the scene.
They've got access to the patients a couple of minutes ago. They've opened the container doors and the visual for the patients. I'm not sure exactly the status of the wards yet, but they're going to keep us updated. Eyes on these patients now by our commander, Nicky Lockhart.
We think there's 10 patients. Nicky's holding them there until we arrive.
Hart will be responsible for examining most of the stowaways. But COVID could be the least of their problems.
They've potentially been in there with minimal food and water in potentially squalid conditions for anything from a couple of days up to weeks at a time.
Hart may have to treat some patients in the freight container.
So we're going to have to think of gas monitoring, possibly plenty of faeces and stuff. So we just need to be very careful in what we're wearing, how we're going in, potentially putting masks on as well.
Security at the port is tight.
Hi mate. First left halfway down.
But Hart are being waved through to the ferry terminal.
Hotel 1 all call signs, we're just behind you. Nobody's to commit into this container until fully PPE'd up and unsafe, so don't bother.
The container has been sealed off on the dockside.
This is going to be news, headline news as well.
The ambulance officer and hospital doctor, Chris Srinivasan, have begun assessing the casualties.
Hi mate, you alright? I'm Nicky. What we got then?
So far we've got 2 males walking wounded in the border force.
They've gone to the holding centre.
Right.
1 female in here, 1 female in there, both sort of relatively stable but sort of semi-conscious. They probably need hospital assessment.
Right, okay.
And then there's going to be a further 6 males in there. There's 2 sat on the top fully alert.
Right.
Many of the male patients are still in the container.
Just get us a mask. Get us a mask. Mask and a torch. Torch. If we can, Nick, as well. If we can get a DCA down to the holding area, so we've got 2 medics down there. Yeah. Brilliant.
Andy's going into the container.
I'm just going to have a look first.
It's essential he finds out if any have COVID symptoms.
Just get us a monitor, gas monitor. Do you mind if I have a look? Is that all right? All right, guys, just give us 2 seconds. I'm just coming up there. How many is of you? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. Yeah? No more. Very sick. Where have you come from? Where have you come from? Eritrea. Okay.
They're packed into an 18-inch high space on top of a consignment of toilet rolls.
If we just get ladders up, let's get them down. They're all talking to us and everything. I can see them all moving around it back. All right, I just want to leave that there.
There's no reason to suspect COVID, but he can't rule it out.
Let's get some kit and some monitor up. We've got 6 of them. All right? 6 people.
There's obviously risks in everything that we do. That's what we're here for. It's the hazardous area response team. But there's also mitigating them risks using PPE, utilising services, utilising other agencies, so then we can justify why we are going in and reducing the risk for staff, public and patients as well.
Yeah, if we can get them down.
The team are going to isolate the men as a precaution.
Kim, get some cordon tape off as well, so we just keep them in.
Some of the stowaways are being taken to hospital by a fleet of ambulances.
2 males have gone off with border force. Yep. We've got the 2 females here. I think we had 10 altogether, so 6 more males. 10 or 11.
You don't need anything from here?
No, we're waiting for an escort.
Andy wants to establish whether any of the men need to join the women in hospital.
We want to keep them in this area, so we'll get the tarpaulins out on there. We'll get some monitors and we'll just start sorting them from here.
You got any blankets?
Guys, whoever don't need to be in, if they come out of this area, and then we'll just keep them in, please. Come down here, please.
Team leaders just said we've got Actually 6 people climbing out, so he just asked us to set up an area where we can get patients out to get them wrapped up warm and just check their observations and make sure that they're all okay.
Right, this is first chappie out. We've got corporal, so let's start doing some work.
The men are lucky to be alive. It's not clear how long they've been in the container.
Do you know whereabouts they're from? Eritrea, that's all we know. And it's come from Belgium, apparently.
Fair enough. Been in Belgium for a minimum of 6 months. Well, 6 months to a year is what they're saying. They have, yeah.
Oh, right.
They got on board in Belgium.
They've been waiting a long time to make the crossing to the UK.
They got in on Friday.
They got in on Friday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days.
5 days.
There's a danger this many patients may swamp the local A&E.
Let's get the guys' masks on as well, please. At Royal Appy, we're accepting all these at Royal Appy.
Yeah, Chris is speaking to him.
Yeah, so I've pre-alerted Royal about these two.
Ruth is testing the men for COVID symptoms.
Like this, in your ear.
High temperature is one of the signs.
Hello. Any pain? No?
We're hypothermic on here. Hypothermic.
But most are cold, not hot.
We've set up a little mini triage centre here, so we're getting the guys out of the container, putting them down and doing an initial set of observations to just make sure they're all right.
Hey mate, come here fella.
They're also being asked to wear masks to protect their rescuers. Border Force agents fear more asylum seekers may be hiding or unconscious in the cargo.
Do you want one to go in and have a check?
If somebody's prepared to go in and have a look in there.
Yeah, I'm prepared to go in. I'll get a guy. I'll stick my lid on and you go in. Everybody's out, apparently, but we're just having a double check, so I'm going to go in on top and have a look.
Andy's going into the cramped, airless container to search it. It will be a difficult, potentially dangerous operation. On Hull docks, Bravo team are at the centre of a major operation to care for a large group of asylum seekers who stowed away in a shipping container.
At the moment, it's looking that they've been very lucky. I'm at this moment just going to have a check in the container itself to just make sure we've got everything and everybody's out of there.
Ruth is assessing the men for signs of COVID-19.
Right, Ian, I'll have one here because I've got a few obs. Cheers, mate.
So far, none has a high temperature with a cough, the most obvious symptom in the virus's early stages.
So this goes in your ear, okay?
Andy's heading into the container.
Happy?
There are fears more people may be lying undiscovered. He's using a carbon dioxide detector to protect himself against oxygen starvation. He's 20 feet into a tiny space where the stowaways spent 24 terrifying hours with no light or water. Inside the container is an emergency shipment of toilet rolls for supermarkets hit by binge buying. It's time to get out. The oxygen level is dangerously low. Outside, the rest of the team are struggling with the language barrier.
So do any English? Small, little.
How old are you? Say again?
Do you have any
17.
illness? Any illness? Injury?
Usually for me as a paramedic, I try and build up a good rapport with a patient. If you can kind of chat just about normal things really while you're doing your treatment, it usually calms them down. But if a patient doesn't speak English, you've lost that connection straight away, and you're going back to basics really, kind of hand signals or gestures to try and understand what's wrong with them, and sometimes it's really hard.
What's your name? I'm Ruth. You John's all right?
Andy still can't rule out the presence of more people in the container.
Yeah, there's been no...
Gone halfway.
Yeah.
It don't look like there's out else in, but it started alarming with low oxygen.
Right.
So God knows how they've managed to stay in there that long.
The only thing you could do is take half of it, maybe take half of it out just to make sure.
It's probably the best thing.
It's a cold morning, and the ambulance service must worry about the welfare of the men. It's beginning to look like most are in good health.
They're not particularly too bad. There's a holding centre where it's warm and everything.
You
can put them in that vehicle that can take 4 at a time.
Right.
So if we have one of yours and 3 to go down to the medical centre, and then they'll come back and take the others, and at least they're warm.
Yep, absolutely.
Carry on doing the treatment.
Yeah, fine, Steve. Yeah, no problem.
Do you want me to go down first? Then?
Yeah, Ruth, you take 3 down.
Yeah.
Hospital Dr. Chris is still trying to piece together the patient's story.
So, have we managed to get out of any of them where they've actually been?
No. All they know, they say they're from Eritrea, but they've been in Belgium 6 months.
Okay. Is there any sign any of them are unwell in terms of febrile?
I don't know, to be fair yet. I'll find out.
If there isn't, then we don't need to isolate them.
Right. Okay, fine.
But one man's causing concern.
Temperature is 37.3. I know it is right on the line.
37.3?
37.3.
Right.
He is tacky.
Okay.
He's got a good blood pressure.
Right.
Tachycardia is a fast heartbeat, and his temperature is marginally above normal.
One of them, temp 37.3 tachy.
It's not, it's only 37.3, that's fine.
It's time to move the men.
Can you stand up with me? Hold them. Keep nice and warm. And your bag, is that yours? Do you want me to give you a hand? Yeah?
We've just been trying to work out if there's actually a risk of things like coronavirus between them, and also, of course, to our team here. There's 2 patients who are unwell, 2 females who are drowsy, they're a bit cold, they're dehydrated, and they've got low blood sugars. So they're on the way to hospital right now, and the hospital know that they're expecting them. There's about 8 males as well who we're just going to assess a bit further because they're sort of walking wounded, but they're all suffering from being in an enclosed space for a number of hours, if not days.
Are you going down?
Yeah, I'm going with him.
Okay.
Yeah. Is he written down?
DM of 3.2.
Whack this round his wrist.
99/66. Didn't get an accurate stats or anything.
Yeah, no worries. Put this round your arm. Okay? Yeah. Thank you.
What we've done now, we've taken them all down to a sort of reception centre, which is further down. It's going to be a bit warmer there. Once they've been in there, it's been cold conditions. Do a full set of observations on all of them, and then Dr. Chris here is going to make sure we find out what we're going to do with them, whether they need to go to hospital or whether it's handed over to Border Force.
Is that it then, just the 3?
Yeah, just 3.
The men are about to enter the immigration system. This is one of the biggest arrivals in Hull for years.
Guys, next 3, can we have them in back ambulance? As soon as we can, let's have them in there. Which set of obs for Steve, please?
They'll be fed and given water, then handed over to Border Force officers.
No one else who's got particularly unstable obs?
No, just they said BMs are low, they're going to be out. The SATs were a little bit low. But as soon as I got halfway back, oxygen monitor started going.
If you hold that, we're going this way, okay? You stand up for me?
Most are weak after hours struggling to breathe. Some are still in their teens.
Just waiting for QSS court for this one, second one.
Yeah. As soon as Andy from Hearts tested the oxygen levels, as soon as they get back there, the oxygen levels are very low. They're pretty lucky to be alive because we could have easily been pulling out 10 dead bodies from there.
Inside the ferry terminal, Ruth wants to complete medical tests.
Am I alright to take his coats off and so on and so forth to get some decent obs? Do you sit down? Yeah, now get your coat off.
We've got multiple patients who've been in a really closed, contained space for a number of days. They are presenting with kind of they're really hungry, they're really thirsty. Some of them are unwell. It's just trying to find out who's the sickest there. It's sort of a real kind of triage situation.
Cold.
Border Force are anxious to find out how they got into the container, but their health must come first.
Just relax. Just relax.
We see patients from all walks of life. We treat everybody the same. Patients aren't treated any differently. We don't know their background. We don't know where they've come from. We don't know what's going on in their life. We don't know why they've come to where they are. All we're concentrating on is just getting to that patient and giving them the clinical care that they deserve, really.
It's unclear who helped them stow away. In recent years, hundreds have died in containers.
Out of them all, this gentleman's probably most unwell.
Human traffickers prey on the desperate in Belgium. The daily ferries from Zeebrugge to Hull are a popular target.
Yeah, Kim, one male certainly needs to go to Hull Royal. If we've got a DCA over there that could come and possibly take him on.
Yeah, right now,
The guys from Border Force are just moving and taking out, or the dock guys, taking out all the toilet rolls now to just make sure that there's nobody further back. So it's all right them saying, oh, there's just 10 of us. Initially it was 11. Last thing we want to do is disappear and then find out there's somebody else left in here. So we just need to make sure and make sure everything's done correctly.
For the team, it's been an insight into the risks asylum seekers are prepared to take.
The container itself was really, really tightly packed, so there's barely enough room for the cargo in there, but for them to be in there as well, it must have been absolutely horrific being stuck inside that locked metal box for a number of days, in the sea, rocking around.
It seems more realistic that I've got on last night. They said that they think they'd probably come from Zeebrugge last night, at about 5 o'clock, come through the night and then arrived here, which makes more sense because there's no feces, there's no real smell in there.
It took them 5 days from wherever they originated from.
Yeah, you wouldn't have survived in there 5 days.
That someone feels that desperate that they're prepared to risk their life to get somewhere for something better.
I find this incredibly sad, for, where's humanity gone, To have to do that to escape, the threat of violence or other harm, things have got to be really bad to, go in there with like a bog roll and a 2-foot gap. It's really sad, isn't it?
But the team know they're unlikely to be the last asylum seekers to risk the dangerous crossing from mainland Europe to the Humber. And the next party may not be so lucky.
Hotel 1 to all park call signs, got a job.
Delta team are being scrambled to a huge fire at a commercial bakery in Wakefield. Hundreds of people are at risk from the smoke and flames. Team leader Tim knows Hart could be dealing with multiple casualties.
999 road activated.
It's one of the first jobs for new Hart member Johnny.
All call signs, Hotel 1. Be advised, when we get on scene, can we head for the Cineworld car park?
The smoke can be seen a mile away. It's a huge fire. The bakery is in a retail park, packed with workers and shoppers.
I'll make the news, this one.
They are evacuating the cinema. There are people presenting with smoke inhalation.
That was got a lot more interesting.
Johnny has experience of major fires. It could come in useful today.
We have an interesting relationship with fire. When I was on the road, I was lucky I got an award from the fire service and from the ASFA for pulling someone out of an active flat fire. Doing my BA course, like going into fires and stuff like that again, it was a bit twitchy. Didn't realise how nervous it had made me, like after nearly dying in a fire myself.
If you know the area, mate, just keep us outside of it and let us know, and I'll walk through with a mask on.
There's nowhere to go to access Speedy Bake from the other side, buddy. The other side's all blocked off.
Whoa.
Toxic smoke is blanketing the area. Emergency crews are trying to evacuate the buildings. There could be people trapped inside. The senior ambulance service commander quickly briefs Tim.
Pete's Hut is the CCS. I've said to the fire, if you get anybody out, without getting in pieces, but I've asked the police to just clear this car park.
In the confusion, members of the public are still wandering around.
The smoke's getting worse. Why are you stood in this? Get out.
The situation just got a lot more serious. There's a lethal element in the thick smoke.
All right, mate. Thank you. Yeah, all call signs, be advised, just been passed from fire that there is asbestos involved in this incident.
Just some restriction protection for masks for the time being, and requested that the crew that are attending and the CS for the time being take shelter in Pizza Hut. Over.
Asbestos causes cancer. The crews can't take any chances.
With huge fires, you get the toxic gases, the plumes, so we need to know where the plume's going, which direction. Is the wind picking up? Because it might be going east 1 minute and then it might switch around and be going west. So we've got to think of the other areas that it's going to affect.
Hart are called to all major fires. They'll treat casualties, including the fire crews battling the flames inside the bakery. Team leader Tim goes for a briefing on the story so far.
Look at that.
Worryingly, the wind is now blowing the toxic smoke directly onto Pizza Hut, where a medical post has been set up to treat any injured shoppers, diners and workers.
I'm assuming they're not in there still.
Tim radios in an update.
Hotel 2, you're receiving. Hotel 2, flash your message. Yeah, just be advised of just with fire. I'm just going round to Kino Box, just to have a look round there. I'll come back to you. Kino Box, do you want anything setting up yet? Not this time, mate.
Oh. From the bakery, muffled explosions as the fire rages. The lethal smoke is now billowing over the car park.
Can't seem to have to speak into the fire service wants us to move round to the other side. They expect the wind direction to change a little bit, so we'll be Saturday. If we go back onto Westgate and then round onto the other side, we'll be the other side of Speedy Gate. You have to talk. Yeah.
The Heart team needs to move, and fast.
We just follow each other, stay together.
They're expecting the wind direction to move into us, so we're going to be right in the middle of the asbestos. Visibility is not great. Yeah, as the wind direction change, we don't want to be in all that.
The medics relocate to a street upwind and close to the seat of the fire.
Stay advised, we're now on the junction of Claremont Terrace and Northfield Lane, out of the smoke.
Inside the bakery, fire crews in breathing apparatus are risking their lives fighting the fire and searching for people who may be trapped. Outside, Heart is setting up a new medical post to treat casualties.
We'll have a lot of kit there and staff to be able to effect sort of immediate life-saving treatment in that location. We're going to be taking some monitoring down there, some extra oxygen, anticipating smoke inhalation. We're going to make sure we've got things like nebulizers, so drugs that we can give to help people when they've got difficulty in breathing. We're going to need equipment to help carry any casualties in case we need to move them back to a safer location, and then just equipment to designate and mark the area as a CCP so everybody knows exactly where it is and where to bring any casualties to.
There's a lot to think about. If there's a lot of casualties there, where are we going to put them, how we're going to use them, where they're going to be manned, are they going to be out of their homes for long periods of time? If you don't, or you don't ramp things up early, then you're always behind the sort of curveball, really.
More explosions. Fire crews are fighting to contain the blaze.
Fire service are fairly confident at the moment. Everyone has been evacuated, but they can't say for absolutely certain at the moment. There's a huge amount of people here.
The wind is hampering efforts. There's a real risk it could blow the deadly smoke onto the tightly packed houses and the hundreds of people inside.
Fire involves asbestos. The wind direction's changing. It was going that way, now it's coming back this way, so at some point, it depends on what fire service wants to do, we might have to start getting people started. Initially it'll be stay in your house, keep doors and windows shut and try and shift these people on. But yeah, just especially when the smoke comes around, just keep everything closed.
Upwind, bakery staff are watching their workplace go up in flames.
The fire alarms went off, just everyone came out according to procedure and everything. Went around the other side and the flames were coming through, you know.
Fire crews are now fighting a desperate battle. The factory is full of flammable materials that are in danger of exploding.
We're expecting to lose the whole building. They're currently in Sector 2, and this area is the main area of concern at the moment because it contains asbestos. Other hazards here, about 2 tonnes of a flammable chemical, which is a possible explosive risk. And there's acetylene cylinders in the middle of the building. Keep your masks on. Public Health England is going to be releasing information and advice to local residents to keep doors and windows shut. And that's it. So I think we're going to be here quite a while. Yep. All right.
Yep. So at the moment, we know that the fire's spreading essentially. It's the fire service is struggling to get it under control. As you can hear in the background at the moment, there's quite a few small explosions, which are canisters essentially that are going off, which present a risk as well, so we're standing by to be able to deal with any medical fallout from that.
concern is them silos because they're full of flour. So if the fire gets stirred, then it could be a bit of an issue. Flour under flame can be combustible, yeah.
If firefighters fail to control this blaze, the Heart team know they may be facing multiple casualties. They can only watch and wait. Gale force winds are battering Yorkshire with gusts up to 70 miles an hour. And in the Leeds suburb of Gildersham, the weather has been a factor in a serious accident on a construction site.
RTC lorry rollover.
Leachy's today's team leader.
What's the weather? Right, okay.
Papa team are mobile, with Spraggy bringing up the rear.
We're just on our way to a building site not far from here, Gildersham. There's been a lorry that's rolled over. We don't know full details of it yet. It could be quite serious because obviously it depends how big the lorry is. It could have, it could have been high speed, and could be other people involved where it's crushed people or the driver's trapped. We just don't know at this stage.
It's happened in an industrial park. Building workers are guiding the team in.
Good lad. It could have been.
Truck there looks on its side there.
The 44-ton tipper truck was delivering hardcore for foundations. The wind caught it as the driver dumped his load.
How did he manage that?
The 72-year-old trucker is trapped in his cab. Sarah is climbing in to examine him.
Morning's gone up, so we'll just pass us some kit.
The first paramedic to arrive is briefing Leachy.
So this is John, just 6-year-old. It was a stationary vehicle. Right. It's the weight's topped over. He's gone, no seatbelt worn, gone to the bottom, head injury. It's an LOC of less than a minute. He's bumped his head, quite agitated when he woke up, but he's been fine since, on no meds.
So when this fire get on scene, I want windscreen taken off, so we'll come out through windscreen. Yeah. If you just get me a set of bobs down there. Yeah.
A freak gust of wind has left the driver with a suspected fractured skull. Colleagues saw it happen.
I had just tipped and I just happened to look in my mirror and I see him full. When he tipped over, I couldn't get down here quick enough to see what I could do. It's a tipper driver's worst nightmare, tipping over. It really is.
The gale is threatening to cause more injuries.
Are you happy if I just shut that door? Windows open.
The driver's fallen almost 10 feet across his upturned cab. Inflammable fluid is leaking from his truck.
All that oil, that's just from
hydraulics, isn't it?
Is that all that is?
Looks like hydraulics.
I reckon wind's taken that. When he's put it up and it's a bit unstable and wind's topped it over. It's quite blustery, isn't it?
And the lorry driver himself was actually sat in the driver's seat unrestrained, so he's fallen from top to bottom across the cab. He's got a slight head injury. There was some question whether he'd been knocked out at all, but we've got a paramedic in there assessing him. But obviously we've just got risks associated with the site at the moment, so we're making sure all our staff have got PPE on.
The fire brigade's technical rescue team are arriving to remove the lorry windscreen so Papa team can reach the trapped driver. Crocs is bringing them up to speed.
We're basically doing a tip, and you can feel wind here, can't you? Yeah. It's just, as he's done tip, he's just taking it over. So he's inside, a little bit of a bang to his head. We're testing him afterwards. We've got one inside, he's just getting him out, easier than, rather than lift through all the wax.
Where's he at the moment?
He's just here at back, just orange at back.
I'm looking through the windscreen at the...
Right, yeah. Just get the long protection as well down here, so we can drop that down. We'll cut down it, yeah?
Inside the cab, paramedic Sarah is concerned. Her patient is confused. It's a classic symptom of a head injury. She wants him in hospital quickly.
It could be just self-mobilise him out, get him on a stretcher out here, or just mobilise some cautionary measures, because it's definitely a head injury. But yeah, I think it could be easy to mobilise him out.
Time is of the essence. Their patient's blood pressure is alarmingly high, and there are signs his condition is deteriorating. For hours, plumes of deadly smoke riddled with asbestos have been billowing from a blazing bakery in Wakefield. Highly flammable materials inside are exploding. Hundreds of people in houses nearby have been told to stay indoors.
Flour silos and chemicals and that there.
A lot of risk.
Heart specialist medics are on standby, prepared for multiple respiratory and burn casualties. Heart team leader Tim is briefed by the incident commander.
The two with the medkit, could you just ask them to go round and speak to the sector commander in each sector?
Fire crews have been risking their lives in intense heat and smoke for hours. Johnny and Kim check they're not suffering any ill effects.
We stood by around at sector 2. We're just going to wander around 1, 2 and 3 occasionally, make sure. If you need us, wave, scream, shout.
All right,
we'll come running.
Yeah, all right.
Everything all right so far?
Yeah, everything's fine, yeah.
All right.
Try it again.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Firefighters are struggling to contain the blaze. If the flames reach the giant flour silos and acetylene canisters, there will be a massive explosion and potentially multiple casualties.
Getting some BA teams in.
Where's the acetylene? Which sector's monitoring them?
The basically said it's in the middle of the building.
Firefighters with breathing apparatus will enter the heart of the factory to prevent the flammable materials exploding. It's highly dangerous. A member of the public has crossed the cordon, unaware of the danger she's in.
Can't go around that way. Have to go. It's blocked off. There's a fire.
Police have put a cordon up.
Firefighters are waging a desperate losing battle with the flames. The roof is collapsing.
The fire's spread to essentially it's spread to this compartment at the end of the building now. Fire service are trying to contain it within the building, but as you can see, it's causing quite extensive damage to the roof. A concern of ours as well is the direction of the smokestack travel towards to nearby housing, and then you've got the entertainment complex to the rear of this, which again, a concern would be that the fire may spread that direction. So the fire service are obviously keeping a close eye on it all at the moment to try to contain it.
As night falls, the asbestos-filled smoke is still pumping out into the local area.
The latest information that we've got is that the fire service and the police have declared this a major incident. They're looking at evacuating around 350 homes that are now engulfed by the smoke on the other side of this structure. We're just ready to deal with casualties, so we're currently in the location where we're expected to receive casualties.
5 hours in, firefighters are still at full stretch. The danger is far from over. The Heart team will stay with them for as long as it takes. It could be a long night. Inside an overturned truck in Leeds, paramedic Sarah is growing increasingly concerned about her patient. An injured lorry driver with a suspected fractured skull still trapped in his cab.
What's the state of play? Is he going to
get immobilised?
Yeah, it's just Boney's just said sort of repetitive questions.
Yeah, he's saying he's got amnesia. He's asking the same questions over and over again. So.
BP's got 211. So should we treat?
Well, if that were right, that BP, that's well ahead.
It is, isn't it? So should we cautionary isolated treat for that?
Here, pal, can you pass that down to her?
Sarah's being passed a collar in case he's broken his neck.
So plunge into that crack, aiming upwards, yeah, like that.
Fire are starting to work. To get a saw blade in, they have to smash a hole in the glass.
Once the window's out, we'll be able to get everything in to immobilise him. The force of it tipping over there he could have had quite a significant bang to his head, especially if he's been to the driver's side, to the upper side of the cab. So if he's gone over and dropped all the way to the bottom, you know, he could have quite significant injuries.
At last they can reach him.
Sarah, do you want him boarding in here or?
No, I think it'd be easier to mobilise him out and then lay him down outside. I'm just worried about him vomiting when we lay him down, that's the only issue. Let's get this off, and then it's not in the way, and then we'll wrap you up when we get you in the ambulance. So I need you to be steady with your feet because you've got a lot of gubbins, you've got your roof on the floor, so get your feet somewhere safe.
John Duckworth is a long way past retirement age.
Right, that's it, go steady.
John, when you come out, just watch the glacier, sweetheart, alright? Because you've got no top on.
He's dazed and bleeding.
That's where you're heading for, this yellow stretcher. Alright?
Have a sit on here for us. Go steady, that's it. Step up.
Is that leg alright? Bit stiff.
Right, I need your bottoms down here. Turn round with me. Turn round with me.
It's a long way down, isn't it?
That's it.
Good lad.
Alright, so we're going to be quick as we can with this. Relax back.
John had driven his load 100 miles to the site.
Just keep nice and still, bud.
We've had Sarah in the cab with this chap. While she's been in there, he started to ask repetitive questions, giving signs of some sort of concussion, started to feel sick. He's got really high blood pressure, so we are going to treat for an isolated head injury, which is why the guys are immobilising at the moment. We'll get him off to hospital as quick as we can and try and get a scan just to make sure there's nothing going on inside his head.
Ready, steady, lift.
John is off for scans at the Regional Trauma Centre.
We're concerned when people bang their heads because obviously your brain is full of blood vessels that can easily be damaged when the brain's shook around. So this gentleman's of an age where that could possibly happen, the blood vessels could be damaged, and his blood pressure is very high, so we're a bit cautious of that as well, so he's going to just go and get checked out at LGI.
Their patient's head injury is potentially life-changing. Driver John had fractured his skull and was off work for 6 months. He says subsidence in the earth below one of the truck wheels was a factor in the accident. The asylum seekers discovered in the container on Hull docks were all handed over to Border Force the same day after medical checkups. Their whereabouts now are unknown. And the bakery at the centre of a massive blaze in Wakefield was damaged beyond repair and has since closed. Some workers were given jobs elsewhere. None of the 140 firefighters who tackled the blaze, nor the 300 neighbours,